Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to the channel. We got the Jeep started in the last video. Go check that out in the playlist if you missed it. Anyways, if we're going to make this Jeep run long term, we've got a lot of maintenance to do. Strap in because it's a long list. After having a look over the Jeep, the most major things are a serpentine belt. It broke as soon as we tried to start the engine the first time. If you don't know what a serpentine belt does, it connects to the engine and to all your accessories so they can get power. Things like the alternator that it doesn't spin, the air conditioner that also doesn't spin, the power steering pump that's out of fluid, hopefully at least the water pump works. There's also a pulley here that probably needs replaced as well. You might also notice the clips holding the radiator hose on are a little rusted, and this is split. I also need to change the oil. We're low on coolant and out of brake fluid. Hopefully putting some fluid in here fixes these so I don't have to deal with the brakes. They don't work at all right now, but the reservoir is empty. Anyways, let's get into it. I feel like the easiest things to start with are adding fluids. I'm going to at least put some brake fluid in. I know I'm going to need to bleed the brakes, but I might as well at least fill this up, see what happens. Well, that is a full bottle already. We're going to need to buy more of that. It's also real gross in there. Definitely going to need to bleed the brakes. One down. Surely those brakes will work now. Next one's power steering fluid. In these Jeeps, they just use automatic transmission fluid. So we'll throw some of that in there. Well, that smells very burnt in there. Smells real bad. Yeah, it's got some on it. Good enough to see if it works. Next is coolant, but we need to fix this hose first. The clamp was so rusty it just broke when I touched it. It's also split. Let's see if we can cut this back and maybe make it fit on here. If not, I'll need to order a new hose. Well, there's something coming out of there. What, we got some powder in the engine. Boy, I wonder what that is. Maybe just because it's been dry for so long. Let me know if you know what this is. Oh, we're going to have to scrape this off and... yeah, this is going to be a minute. I'm going to use 10 snips. These have a bit of belting in them. Just makes it easier to cut. This is not how you're supposed to fix things. Well, that's just going to be in the engine later. Make sure we got all this junk out of here. Nothing clogging that. There's definitely some rust in the radiator. Oh, you look like you'll fit. Maybe now that we have this off, I cut this a little straighter. Well, it ain't pretty, but it'll work. Yeah, we'll see how long that takes to blow out. Let me go grab a hose clamp. This is a very temporary fix. Yeah, that'll probably stay on there for 10 minutes at least. No, why not? Next, this alternator. I want to deal with all these rusty bolts. How about we put some penetrating fluid on these bolts first, then we'll give it a go. Hey, there we go. Spray the front. Spray the back. One in the back here probably, yeah. Oh, how do we get to that? Oh, I see you. You are only rust. Yes. Get you good and hose that. Hose it down. We'll let that guy sit a bit. We'll be back later to grab him. We're gonna need some coolant too. I'll just pour until... yeah, I know there's a thing to do this, and I will get the air bubbles out later. Don't you worry. I don't hear it running on the ground yet, at least. Well, that was very dry. I'm glad we're doing this. I feel like this engine is probably dry in there. Got a leak coming out of that yet? Nope. Blah, 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 blah. Well, We're gonna leave that off and, oh, hello. We're gonna leave that off, and when I run it, I will probably need to fill it. Just overfill this. Yep. What else do we got? Let's crawl under here and have a look at that oil. Hopefully it's not a milkshake. I'm no professional. I'm on a gravel driveway, as you can see. I'm just doing a thing I enjoy. Maybe I enjoy. Hopefully this is a little call to you to maybe do that thing you enjoy. Yeah, even if it is a little hard sometimes. Whew. Anyways, enough with the mushy stuff. I'm sure this oil is just going to be a milkshake, and this whole engine's bad. Oh, that's the right color. Awesome. There's even a little viscosity in there. It's very old and dirty, though. I'll let that drain while I lay here in the gravel. And good enough for our first oil change. Maybe clean this up and see if it is a rear main seal leak, which is what these do anyway, so I'm sure it is. Oh, where'd my wrench go? Oh, you saw it the whole time. Why didn't you tell me? Yep, that's good. This has some sort of torque spec, but that's it. I think it's like 30 some pounds, good enough. We'll check and see if it leaks later. All right, let's get off this gravel. Oh. The oil filter is really easy to get to on these. It's just down on the side of the engine. Let's grab this sucker and pull it out of here. I'm probably gonna need to get a wrench. I've changed my mind that this is gonna be easy. Yeah, that's really stuck on there. Let me go grab the oil filter wrench. Got our wrench. You're gonna have to put this on extra large mode. Yes, no. That's not on there. Well, not too bad. Got a Napa Pro Select, at least it's not the worst. Some pine needles in the filter. You know, all good things. Oh, that thing's dry. That's gasket's still on there. It's always good to check and make sure you didn't leave the gasket behind. I'm a Wix guy, but you're welcome to argue in the comments about which filter is the best. Always take a little leftover oil, put it on the gasket, help make sure it seals well. Screw this on. I've seen in the comments you guys want more grunting, so I'll grunt more. All I need to get that hand tight and it's good enough. I like to grab a pen and write the date and the miles on the filter. This made me look at the odometer and see that we've got 197,000 on this thing. Oh boy. Change the engine oil. Right where you can't see it. I swear it's right here though. I'm using a Rotella T5. It's for diesel engines, but it has zinc in it. These engines have flat tappet cams, and zinc is really good for them. You can also get a zinc additive called ZDDP. You can add that to your favorite engine oil. This just also happened to be the cheapest oil at the store too. The engine takes 6 quarts, but I'm just going to throw 5 in it for now. I lost my usable funnel, so I'm using this tiny weird one. Oh, yep. There's some more things to burn off. Well, we're probably going to skip a lot of this because it's just taking too long with this funnel. And oil is checked off. Well, I guess we should put the lid back on. Time for the alternator next. Going to unhook the battery first to make sure we don't get any surprises. She's disconnected. Well, now to see if we get this thing off of here. Hey, that's moving better than I thought it would. Guess before I get this too loose, I've got a power line here going to the battery. Also got some clips that I don't see how to unclip. Yeah, that came off pretty easy. Okay. Put that somewhere. Maybe it doesn't ground out. I'm amazed that this is coming out of here. Well, these are very different. Bottom one is long. Yeah. Just pull harder. Pull less hard. Push harder. Do a thing better than I'm doing it. Oh, this is an awkward position. Oh. Woo! Well, there we go. Give you a little closer look at what's going on here and why we're replacing this. Well, the main reason we need to replace this is the pulley isn't working. So the engine makes this spin and this generates electricity. And then that will charge your battery so you can start it next time. If this doesn't spin, it doesn't make electricity. Also, I don't know how well this comes through on camera, but all those coils are full of gunk and rust and junk. That's cleanable, but definitely doesn't work if the pulley doesn't work. Also, as I was trying to take it out, the output stud started to spin. So that means stuff's just rusted and broken inside there as well. Looks like these are about 90 bucks on Amazon for a decent one. We'll throw that on when it arrives. Last thing to grab is the idler pulley. This thing is covered in rust and gonna just tear up the belt if we get a new one. It also makes a bit of a grinding noise when it spins. They're pretty cheap, so I'll just grab a new one. Probably gonna be right in your way, but yeah, there's rust and everything. It's starting to get deformed from the amount of rust, so might as well get a new one. They're cheap. After a quick trip to the automotive store, we've got a new idler pulley. This one actually spins and doesn't make a grinding noise. Let's throw it on. Yeah, put it back together how it was. Give that some foot-pounds of whatever, and then now it spins. Yeah. Well, that went on pretty easy. Well, let's guess what time it is. Well, it's mail time. We got our alternator in from Amazon. That's a heavy boy. Looking a lot like the same thing. I'll bring you over here. Have a little comparison of why we're replacing this. We've got our new alternator and our old alternator. The main thing I'm wanting here is that this spins. It does not spin on this. An alternator needs to spin to make the magic happen. There's some magnets and science inside of here that run by copper wires, and by spinning this, we create electricity. If it don't spin, it don't make no electricity. Let's get this new guy on there and charging our battery. Get the alternator back where it goes. Maybe. Yeah. Beautiful. I'm probably going to get in your way here, but gotta do what I gotta do. Ow. Yeah, got some things going there. Just this guy, and maybe put a bolt in there. cheat on this one a little. Yep. I think this is into an aluminum housing. Let me check the torque specs on this. Those bolts require 50 to 60 foot-pound of torque. I'm gonna go get the torque wrench just to make sure I'm getting those on tight enough. Last thing I want is an alternator flying off, so let's do this correctly. Oh yeah, that was a lot tighter than I was doing it. Yeah. And there's that one. Might as well do the idler pulley too. It said 35. Well, that was, yep. Oh yeah, I should probably plug this guy back in. There we go, and reconnect our power wire to the alternator so it will actually charge the battery. Don't have the battery hooked up while you're doing this. Again, the Jeep has an air conditioner on it, but it is locked up and not spinning, kind of like that alternator. Got the no air conditioner belt, so it's quite a bit shorter. Gonna see if we can just skip routing through the air conditioner. Hopefully there's room to do that. Let's find out. You go around that way and under that way, and there's a fan here in the way. This might turn into quite the... See if I can do this without climbing underneath it. Yeah. Come on. Easy does it. I know you're comfortable in your seats there, but I could really use a hand with this, you know. What am I caught on now? Oh, hey. Or maybe on the right side. Just get over that crank. Okay. Oh, there it is. Got the... Oh, now this fan's gonna ruin it all. Okay. Up and around. Shoot around that fella. Shoot back around that. Bring you in a little closer. We'll have a talk about how some things work here. I think this is about the best camera angle I've got. So we've got this all routed, but as you'll probably notice, it's a little too short to actually wrap around everything. That's so the belt stays under tension. There is a piece right here. You put a wrench in it and twist, and it will loosen all this up a bit. If we pull our wrench, it will give us just a little more slack. Oh, yeah. Perfect. At some point, I might clean off the water pump. There's an amount of rust on there, but like I've said for most of this, it's good enough for now. Let's see if she'll start up. As an aside here, I was on the Jeep forums. People suggested unplugging the compressor when you skip the air conditioner. That way it's not just trying to run all the time. It's just a little plug behind the compressor that you can't get your hands to. Then the last thing is we'll hook the battery back up. Got some sparkles. That's probably on there well enough to at least test all this stuff out. Grab the fire extinguisher. Last time we ran this for about 10 seconds and it already started to smoke. I'm gonna run it for about 10 minutes this time, make sure the thermostat opens, everything's charging. So definitely want this on hand. Let's see if it starts up and runs. Yeah. That's figuring out fuel ratios there. Looking pretty good. Sounding pretty good too. Well, the muffler obviously doesn't sound good, but the engine itself sounds good. See if we're charging. 14 1/4. Alternator works. I don't know, this is all very promising. That sounds like a very... It's got a little bit of a tick, but that's sort of these engines, so. Just a very little bit of smoke for all the things I put in it and how long it's not run. So that's good. We probably don't have coolant in the engine. So I'm opening the cap because it was dry. That means there's probably a lot of air in the system. As it gets hot, the thermostat will open. All the liquid will go into the engine and I need to refill this. So this is kind of just testing to see if the thermostat will open. I need a new radiator at some point because there's a lot of debris in there. I don't know, this seems like it's doing pretty good. For having sat so long, and for all the bit more car nerds that actually watch this stuff, we'll actually let you hear the engine instead of listening to me talk. Sounds pretty good to me. There's a slight tick, but I remember my other one sounded like that too, and it only had 90,000 miles and was well taken care of. There's some bubbles. Thermostat just opened. Yes! I don't have to pull all that off. Yeah, it's starting to flow. Look at all those chunks in there. It's not that bad. Let me make sure I'm not going to run over anything. We're going to see if this thing moves. Let's see if it goes into reverse and drives. Heck yeah! Oh, I got no brakes. Okay. Let's try and pump those a bit. Power steering works. Awesome, everything's running great. I had zero brakes. When I backed up and tried to come back in, the wheel chocks are the only thing that stopped me. Thought I was going through the garage, but then I remembered the wheel chocks were there. Pumped the brakes quite a bit, and this is dry again. Doesn't seem to be leaking anywhere, but the parking brake doesn't work either, so I feel like I'm just pulling these brakes completely apart and rebuilding them. They are drum brakes in the back. Luckily, I already know how to work on those from the other Jeep. Fronts are easy though, they're just normal disc brakes. We're gonna have to give the whole system a look over, but it runs and moves, doesn't stop on its own. Coolant's good, engine sounds good. I think we got a runner. Now get out there and drive an old Jeep to the stars.